Hello, Kyle. This is Dimitris calling from Chicago and Metal KAOZ. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been a while since I've seen you. How are you?
Honestly, yes, we have seen each other. We have never shook hands, but I have seen you so many times from stage. I don't know, man. It feels like I'm talking to a friend. How
Well,
about that?
shit. Awesome.
How were the shows in Europe?
The ones we just did in November,
Mhm.
very good. We did some shows in some countries that we have never been to, that I personally have never been to. I had never been to Serbia.
Mhm.
I had never been to Croatia. And let's see, we also did Slovenia. I've been there with Alabama Thunder Pussy, but never Exhorder. So we did those three for the first time, went back to Prague, and that's always a good time. And then we ended up at a festival in Germany called Nuclear Winter Brain Crusher Festival. And the shows were good. The shows were good. I love that part of the world, the Central European area. The people are so nice and the food is outstanding. And I'm a foodie, so it's very important to me when the food's good.
So, can I ask the cliché question? Do you see differences between the US and the European audiences?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, it just depends on the circumstances for sure. But I think a lot of times the the European audiences are a little maybe more passionate, more hungry
Mhm.
than a lot of the US crowds. I don't know if it's that we've had so much at our disposal, or maybe it's got something to do with a foreign band coming into your country that you don't know if you're ever going to get a chance to see again, so you just get a little more excited about playing for. That could have some play into it. I know when I was a kid
Mhm.
and bands from Germany would come over, or wherever, I'd be very excited and say, man, I don't know if I'll ever get to see them play in my backyard again. So you always kind of have that, as a fan, you have an excited approach to seeing a band that's not from anywhere near where you're
Right.
living. So that it's not to say we don't have some exciting shows in the US, because we do, but it varies from town to town, from country to country, I find. We can go to Spain and Portugal and it's lights out. They're going crazy. And, we might go play in the Netherlands and Belgium and everybody's just kind of sitting back, watching the show, enjoying it, but maybe not as physically engaged. And I don't know, maybe the audiences are older there. I know
No,
from,
no. What you're trying to say is that the Central Europe, all the tours pass go from there, right? And Netherlands, Belgium, central parts of Germany, they always have a ton of shows.
yeah,
So
you're right
when you
about
go
that.
to, let's say, rarer countries like Spain, Portugal, Greece, Serbia, there you will see more excitement because, yeah, like you said, it's how often do we see Exhorder in those countries?
Yeah, I think you've got some good insight on that for sure, because it's a supply and demand thing, and we do, even in the States, when we do a touring circuit, we always try to hit markets that we really haven't hit before. But with the US being as large as it is, it's really difficult to play everywhere. I mean, it would take over a year probably to play everywhere in the US, I mean, it just would. So a lot of times when we announce, people are like, know this city, know that city. Come on, it's like we want to play everywhere, but we have to go where we're booked, That's just the way it is.
Well, the fans, us, I'm including myself, we are always selfish, right? And I
Eh,
will want my band, my favorite band, to play outside my house. So there you have it.
yeah, I saw a meme the other day that said, whenever a band skips over your town, it's because they don't like you personally.
That's perfect. So you are about to hit the US, right?
Yes,
Not
sir.
the entire US.
We
So,
are beginning rehearsals next week
mhm.
for a pretty long run. I want to say it's about 20, 24, 25 shows maybe. It's a nice little run. We're starting down here in Louisiana in
Mhm.
Lafayette, about maybe about 100 miles west of here, and we're going down almost to Mexico to a town called McAllen, Texas, right on the border. And the Texas shows are always tough because Texas is so big, but we're kind of zigzagging through Texas, heading out west, going to the northwest, back across the west into the Midwest, and wrapping up there. And as soon as I get done, what is it? The 22nd is our last show in Hobart, Indiana.
Correct.
And I've got two shows with Trouble the following weekend. So I'm just going to get picked up and stay in Chicago for a week and go down to Mexico with with Trouble.
Awesome. Love that you made the connection. That I will return to that later in the
Oh
discussion.
yeah, sure, sure.
Of course. However, why did you name the tour Unforeseen Circumstances? What is unforeseen in this tour?
Uh, well, that's a little bit of an inside joke with us guys. So, when sometimes when things are unable to be completed and they are canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. So, uh, we are not canceling this tour. We are completing this tour. So that is probably the unforeseen circumstances that we're actually going to finish the tour.
Bizarre, but I like it. So you said you are. I don't remember if you said that while we were recording that you are about to start rehearsing for this tour.
Correct. Yes, we just did play in November. So
Correct.
that's what, maybe 6 weeks ago. So really we just need two or three practices just to kind of dust off a little bit and shake off the rust. And we'll head out probably a day and a half before we have to be in Lafayette because it's a long way from Ohio where we rehearse down this way. It takes, without an RV and trailer, it takes about 16 hours driving straight without interruption. So we'll probably leave the day before and drive into the night and stop at a truck stop or something, rest up and get on over to the first show. And I think this first show is just going to be us and SLOWHOLE. PHOBIA, I believe, is jumping on in Texas, and LUICIDAL will not be able to start until we start getting out west. So they're gonna be direct support on most of the tour, and then I want to say maybe the last 5 or 6 shows, Ringworm is gonna replace them.
Okay. Well, my question about the rehearsals had to do with whether you're gonna change the set list compared to what you did in Europe, for example.
Oh, probably not much. I know we're adding a song that I don't even know that we've played it live. We've kind of just played it in the rehearsal space. But we've got so many songs that we play that we probably shifted up a little bit here and there, just to meet our satisfaction. But
Mhm.
we do a little bit of everything off of every album. We play heavily off of Slaughter in the Vatican. We play heavily off of Defectum Omnium because we're just wrapping up the 2 year tour cycle for promoting that album. So that's a big reason why we didn't call this tour Defectum Omnium, because it's been 2 years now. It's time for something new. So but we'll play something off of More in the Sun and Skies as always, and something off of The Law, and that it seems like everybody enjoys the flow of the show as we dictate it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to play.
Well, as long as you guys enjoy the set list,
That's where it starts. I
right?
think I think
Absolutely.
if you see you when you see a band that isn't enjoying themselves, it's pretty obvious and you can tell.
Yeah, and it's such a, I mean, it kills the mood for me. if you don't see excitement, and I understand that if you have like 16 shows, at some point you will get tired, but still there
Sure.
must be some excitement for the band from the band, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is something that we all gave up a comfortable life to do this. So,
Mm-hmm. No, it's
we,
no joke. I mean, you just
it's
mentioned you
true.
have a 16-hour drive.
It's hard work. And look, we are the road crew. We really are. So we have a guy who comes out with us that does sound, and he helps us with driving, and in turn he helps us load in and load out. Um, it's usually my daughter or my wife that comes along to sell merch. I don't have either one of them available, so come see me at the merch table. It'll be me. So, and I'm also the night driver. So,
Oh boy.
so we're working, man. This is what you call a mom and pop business. This is how it goes.
Yeah, and honestly, these things need to be said, especially for the younger bands, because I don't think there is any stardom there, right? We don't have a star status there, except for a few, very few bands.
On this tour, you mean?
No, in general,
Just in
touring,
general.
yeah, in this
Okay.
level.
Yeah. This is definitely a fan's genre. This is not radio rock. I mean, we've got our specialized satellite stations like Liquid Metal, et cetera, that support this kind of thing. But outside of that, it's college radio or just underground internet radio. So, whoever we don't reach on social media,
Hmm.
they're either going to the bathroom and seeing our name on the wall while they're you know freshening up, and that's to be polite. So that's it. Word of mouth still works, I think, a lot in this business. So we just want to we want to maximize our opportunity. We want to play to as many people as possible, obviously reaching the audience, growing the business. And why bother getting out to play if you're not trying to reach your peak audience?
Hmm.
So, uh, like I said, this is something that I returned to this after my kids were small, and it was just tough for me to tour. So I stopped touring for many years and just got a job and raised my kids, and now my kids are all grown ups. So I have the freedom to do this again. I'm blessed that now that I have the time to do it again, that people care. So I'll take that as a win.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of speaking of years, um, Exhorder were formed around 1985.
That was when the beginning of the formation started. 1985 was when all of the strings players, a drummer, they got together and said three of them were already together. The two guitar players and the bass player were already together, but they had not settled on the drummer yet. So they got with Chris at the end of I don't know. I wasn't there, so and it's always been my understanding. Late in 1985, they started working together, and I want to say April of 1986 was when I came along, and it was at a DRI gig in New Orleans. They were playing. I think it was the Dealing with It tour. It was the Dealing with It tour, and that was my first really big punk show, and I was really excited about this new genre I was discovering. Well, it wasn't new necessarily. I was new to it. And so I bumped into the guys and found out that they were looking for a singer and asked for an audition. And once I showed up, that was it. So I was the final piece of the puzzle. And to this day, I'm the final piece from the original lineup. So
So where I was going with that is, depending of how you look, the starting day, we are talking about 40 years now, anniversary.
that's true. And we're not even saying anything about that.
That's why I'm asking. Well,
Well, due to unforeseen circumstances, we did not mention that this is the 40th anniversary tour.
perfect.
Slipped my
Well, I like that.
mind.
That's good. That's good. Let's call it that. Okay. You mentioned the 2 year cycle ending with this tour of Defectum Omnium. So, of course, I will ask, what are your thoughts or the band's plan for the next Exhorder album?
Actually, we are at work again. Jason's been incredibly busy putting new music together. I'm kind of tied up with new trouble stuff right now, so
Mhm.
I've got a lot of ideas, but they're kind of scattered. So Jason's been putting his ideas into song structure a lot quicker than I have. Pat also has some ideas. He's approached us that he would like to do some writing on this album also, because he really only played solos on the last one. And but he's wanting to get his hands dirty as well. And I would love that. I mean, why would we have him in the band and ask him not to do that? Uh, so Jason, I think Jason and Sasha are working this week actually on getting new ideas put together. And I'll get there a week from Saturday. So they're going to have about a week to 10 days of sitting there and trying to start getting the earliest of the early ideas together. They've done this once or twice before. And, it's all very primitive song structures and stuff, but it's just, this is how it starts. That the art and the beauty of making an album to me is starting from zero and you've
Yeah.
got nothing but silence. And to come up with a finished album to me is a magical process. So it's got to start somewhere. So they're getting cracking on it. And at some point, Pat and I will come hopping in on it. So I suspect when I get up there late next week that they'll have something that they're excited about to show me.
Yeah, almost you start with chaos, right? And you start to organize that
Yeah,
in an organized way, right? Organized chaos, maybe. This
perhaps.
is how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
start.
But I think they're actually going to even go into the studio and track some of this so that we have rough demos of music to work on that they can send to me and I can start, throwing vocals here, see what works, see what doesn't. And that's what you do. Like you really, and this is a pro tip to all the people out there that are just getting started or just trying to figure out, how do I make my songs better? Like for me, you got to be careful that you don't fall in love with the first thing that comes out of you. You've got to take the best of what comes out, keep it, throw other stuff away, try to improve on it, and that's the process. There's so much. A lot of times you'll hear that with early versions of songs by bands that we all grew up listening to. You see old footage of Iron Maiden or Black Sabbath and playing an early version of maybe Killers or War Pigs, and the lyrics are different. Sometimes the song structure is a little bit different, and it's probably because they're just testing out how this song is going to do in a live scenario.
Doesn't this require some level of artistic maturity to be able to say, okay, this is what I have so far, so I will take the best of it? Or is it up to your the other members to tell you, not criticize, to give you feedback and then improve on that?
It's a little bit of both. You have to be thick-skinned
Mm.
enough to where if someone comes up to you and goes, "I'm not digging this part," that you can't take that personally. What we all want the best for the songs, the best for the band. So for me personally, when I'm working by myself, I have a question that I ask myself when I'm not sure about something. The question is, would I spend money on this?
Mm.
And if the answer is no, then I've got to fix it.
Yeah, but again, this requires a level of maturity because you mentioned the younger bands. This is not something that can be taught. This is something that you develop as a personality, right?
It's true. Someone can tell you, like I can tell you, you can tell someone that this is a good way, but until someone is in the situation themselves and has to ask themselves that hard question, you just never really know how you're going to react to it. And That's always the best thing I can say is like, what if your favorite band put this in front of you? What would you think?
Well, it's easier to criticize someone else's work, right?
Yes, yes,
Rather than
yes.
your own.
So you have
Uh,
to use your imagination. You have to kind of be, you just have to be objective and fair.
so this is something that I really like. I will not use the word old. I will say seasoned bands. Whenever you have a lineup
Thank
that
you for
is
that.
absolutely, man. Whenever you have a stable lineup for, let's say, more than a decade, then you know that these guys have found the chemistry, have found their groove, and they are
Yes,
not just fighting for songs. And this is when magic happens to me.
true, true. Like, so Jason and Sasha do a lot of their writing together, but for me, I write right here in this room with a drum program. I've got my combo amps and my really simple recording setup that I got here. But what I do is I'll send it off to Sasha and I'll tell him this is basically what I'm looking for, but if you've got an idea to improve anything going on in here, then by all means suggest it and see. And he's got a drum program that he has too, and he'll, maybe flip the drum beat from the upbeat to the downbeat, that
Mm.
sort of thing. Or, look, like the fills that I have on here are just kind of stock fills. If you want to do your own fills, I don't care, but this is where a fill should go. So we all kind of have an understanding of how it works, what's the best way to make it work. And at the end of the day, the goal is less about who gets bragging rights and credit than than who can actually turn something around in a song and make it special.
Right, right. So it's not that you are only in Exhorder. You have Alabama Thunder Pussy, Aorta, Pitts versus Preps. So can you give touch upon a little bit on these three bands? What is happening over there?
So for Aortha, that was actually a project that I was invited to do uh, by a guy named Predrag Glogovic. I think I want to say he's from Bosnia Herzegovina area, and really nice guy. The way he explained it to me was it was he was given a gift to be able to make the album of his dreams uh, as a birthday present, I think, which is really kind of cool. So he, in turn, hired a lot of people that he either, admired some of their music along the way or just wanted to jam with in some kind of way. So I never met him in person. We did everything remotely through email and such. And, we talked on a video chats a little bit here and there, but I didn't write any of that. He wrote that was all his writing, and I just basically interpreted what he described to me as how he wanted it done in my vocal style. So I think that's pretty much how he did the entire album. So my job was just to make him happy since he hired me to do the work. So it's not technically a real band per se,
Right, right.
but it's just an album a project that he put together that I'm blessed to be a part of. And there's a lot of really cool people that were on there also. Um, but Pitts versus Preps was an actual band that I was in from here. We haven't done anything really in so long. It's been 10 years or more probably since we've done anything. And that's more of a Judas Priest, Iron Maiden classic metal kind of band. We had our own little spin on it, being from New Orleans, but very atypical from what usually comes out of New Orleans. It's not sludgy, it's not doomy, it's not thrashy, none of it. So it was very, very different. We actually have an unfinished album that we recorded in 2006 that we just
Oh,
never have done anything with, and at some point we're going to release it, but I don't know that that'll ever be an active band again. I'm not sure.
another unforeseen circumstances then.
Unforeseen circumstances. Yes, there's lots of those.
Alabama.
Okay, yeah. So um, we've had some talks about possibly doing something later this year. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition or not. It's been so busy for me with Trouble and Exhorder. We did do a handful of shows in 2023 and one at the end of 2022. And I mean, it was so nice to jam and get to spend time with those guys again. We did a lot of shows. We worked really hard together. They and long before I ever got in that band, they were toughing it out, really, really working their asses off. I have to say, the biggest takeaway for me playing in that band was observing how efficient and how professional they were about everything that they did. Their songwriting, their work ethic, I wasn't used to that because in the beginning, Exhorder was not very disciplined in that way. We were chaos on 10 legs. And
10.
yeah, sometimes for better and sometimes not so much. So being in a band like that, it was like, okay, so this is how it
Mm.
is supposed to be done. And I'll always, I love the guys, period. Like they're just some of my favorite people that I've ever worked with on a personal level as well as a business level. But uh, it definitely gave me an opportunity to see things from another perspective as to how things should be done. And I try to apply that with every band I'm in, uh, from top to bottom. When it's show day, I'm about work and until work's over. And then if I'm gonna have drinks and party or whatever, that comes after work.
Yeah. First of all, before asking about, I will not forget, of course, Trouble. I will make a comment. You have such a diverse voice because you are singing in different styles and your singing is of high level. So I don't know. Extra credit to you, man.
Thank you. Thank
You are
you.
doing thrash, you are doing punk stuff, you are doing the more melodic stuff with Trouble. I mean, you are all over the place in a good way.
I just did a show on Saturday evening, a Judas Priest tribute with my friends here. Sammy Due from Acid Bath and Goat Whore is also in that band.
Jeez.
And as you can imagine, singing Rob Halford all night is not an easy gig. But I was fortunate, and I didn't discover it right away. I started out as a musician. Third grade, I learned the trumpet, took 5 years of private lessons. This gave me a really strong foundation for being able to pick up just about any instrument and really feel natural with it. So I went to bass after that. That's where I thought I was going to be. I thought I was just going to be a bass player the rest of my life. And I really had a passion for it. But I started singing in rehearsal, and then I stopped getting offers to play bass and only offers to be the singer. So I joined the chorus in high school as part of my curriculum. I went to class every day for singing, every day for 2 years. And then I went to one semester at university in the advanced chorale at the University of New Orleans. So I've performed with the New Orleans Symphony doing Beethoven's Ninth.
Okay.
So, so yeah, like for me, it really took a long time. And I say a long time, it may not have been at the end of the day, but at the time it felt like it. It took a long time for everything to finally click with me, where I took my rock side and my classical influence side and mixed them together. And when I did, it was just like, oh, the floodgates opened, no pun intended. And I was just, it was like, oh God, I can do whatever I want, and that's always the joke. People are like, you know, is there, what can't you sing? And I always say, you know what, I sing whatever I want. And I'm not even trying to be cocky about it. It's just kind of true, I mean, obviously I don't have a terribly deep voice, so like lower baritone and bass is not my strong point. when I'm recording those kind of parts, I have to use a little trickery to make it happen. So I'm definitely more a tenor and upper register kind of guy, and nothing wrong with that. Everything about singing is a gift. I think a lot of those high notes get a lot more credit than they deserve because to me that big powerful booming bass voice is really amazing. Uh, Especially when girls come in with a really powerful deep voice. To me, that's like really cool.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so everything's different. There's room for everything and everybody. But yeah, I mean maybe I'm branching here and I should probably take it back around. I've been blessed with this voice. Sometimes it feels like a curse because I don't always feel like singing. Sometimes it hurts to sing, sometimes it
Yeah. Yeah.
hurts your head. And I'm like, when am I gonna just drop from hitting these notes? So, hopefully never, but um I, I'm lucky, and I'm fortunate to be able to be in this situation because not everyone has the range that I have, and I may not be the great. I might to somebody I might be the greatest singer in the world, but that's taste, and taste is subjective. To me, it's not that kind of a competition because I know somebody who thinks Jeff Tate is the greatest singer in the world. And I know somebody who can't stand Jeff Tate as a singer and loves Gigi Allen as their favorite singer. Like it's a matter of taste. It really is.
It is, and it's to me, you mentioned Jeff Tate, and you have Queenstrike that they have another singer. How many times people compare singers? To me, this is absurd. You cannot do
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
different things. Really, it's different. It's not like you have a guitar. The voice, it is an instrument, but it's so different with one person to the other, right?
I mean, look at the bands that I'm in outside of Exhorder. I'm in Trouble and I'm in Alabama Thunder Pussy. There were two singers before me in Alabama Thunder Pussy, and I know that there's people that are old fans of the band that don't care for the band without those people in it, and that's okay. And for the love of everything holy, I've replaced Eric Wagner in Trouble, and
Mhm.
can Eric Wagner be replaced? The short answer is no. I mean, how do you replace Eric Wagner? So my job isn't to replace Eric Wagner. My job is to pay tribute and homage and respect to his legacy as I create my own with the band. So I'm a fan, and I knew Eric, and we were cool. So the fans, I think, maybe get a little bit more uh like pro wrestling about it and hateful about it. And look, at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy any band that I'm in with me, then save your money and stay home.
Well, I
Listen
don't
to
know why we are talking about these things. I
I mean,
wasn't
I'm just
planning for this.
I'm mostly like I've seen it all. I've had people come up to me and say, "We didn't want to like you with Trouble, but seeing you live, it's obvious you care about the songs."
Yeah.
So, and that's important to me. It really is. As a Trouble fan and as a fan of Eric. So, but some people just never enjoy it. There's people that don't enjoy Exhorder anymore because I'm the only original member left. So stay home and listen to the records.
Oh man, let's not open that kind of worms because it upsets me when, as I said, comparing musicians. The singer is the face of the band, according to many. So when that changes, oh my god, it's the end of the day. It's the end of the
It's
so
it is difficult.
don't worry. And I also like Trouble with Kyle, and I
Well,
have
thank you.
Trouble with Eric. So there you go. And speaking of, what is the latest on the new Trouble album? It's been a long time on the making.
Yes, but real progress has been made. The music is nearly finished being recorded. I have gotten into the recording of the vocals, so things happen very slowly in the world of Trouble. I always say that Trouble years are like dog years in reverse. So it's true, but it's happening, and I'm never a big fan of saying it'll be out by this time. I can't say that. Not to mention I'm the singer of the band. I'm not a part of the business side of Trouble. It's not my job. And That's the way it should be. So, but for me, my job is to do the best work that I can do for Trouble and honor the legacy and create great music with people I love playing with and look up to, Rick and Bruce to me are probably the most criminally unheralded guitar duo in rock history. And that's true. Any Trouble fan knows this. So here we are. We're putting together another album, and I'm very excited about it. I don't want to overhype it and give people a measuring stick that might be difficult to meet, but I'm extremely excited about the songs that they have given me to work on.
So basically, all the songs are ready, and we are waiting for Kyle, or we have
Yeah,
more?
that's kind of where we're at now. It's my turn.
Okay. So we will blame Kyle moving
It
forward
is my fault, 100%.
for any unforeseen circumstances, right?
Yes.
Kyle, thank you very much for your time. Have safe traveling,
Thank you.
stay healthy, and we'll see you. I'm sure we'll see you with Exhorder and with Trouble in one
Yes.
way or the other. Okay.
Yes. We're actually coming to West Chicago
Mhm.
at towards the end of the tour, and also Hobart, Indiana, which isn't terribly far from there, I think. So we've got a couple of shows that are reachable for the people in the Midwest there that want to step on out and have an interesting evening.
And Trouble are playing in Keep It True, right, in Germany. So I'm sure you will have
Yes. We
killer
have
time.
two shows in Mexico at the end of February, and I want to say April we're doing Keep It True.
Awesome. Have, as I said, safe travel, safe flights.
Thank you.
Uh, Stay healthy and give my love to both bands. Bye bye.
Certainly will. Certainly will. Let me know if you want to come on out. Hit me up.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Demetrius.
Bye bye.
Bye.